Hey guys, there seems to be a theme today, so when those themes happen, I like to make a little video to help you guys out with things. So we're gonna do a clearing first. Okay, take a deep breath. Yeah. All right, so there are some misconceptions about what it is to truly be there for somebody. Major misconceptions. Major judgments that are caused by our society, and they're just not true. So I just wanted to kind of dismantle some of those things. Some of you guys have some negative people in your life that complain a lot. Maybe you're one of those people that do all the complaining, but you're not even aware of it. I used to do that many years ago. But when we are it's like we're going around our world, and when things disturb us, we are spewing it on other people. I call it emotional vomiting. You're vomiting on people. So it's a lot for other people to take, number one. Number two, if you really want to change your life and the way things are going for you in your life, you really have to take a good look at those things that are happening in your atmosphere and in your world that you're claiming to be kind of a victim of. And you got to learn to be introspective and self reflective in order to learn from those different circumstances and things, become more self aware so that you can evolve past those situations. A couple weeks ago, I think on a live, there was a gal that started to complain about her relationship with her daughter. Now, if you guys would have continued to go down that road with her and continue to talk about, oh, I feel so bad for you, you and your poor daughter, and la 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 la, it would have led to another subject and yet another subject and yet another subject. Because when you're in that mode of your life is nothing but complaints, then you don't. That's like there's an endless supply because you're operating from your ego completely. You're totally identified with the person that you think you are and being a victim of all these different circumstances in your life. So, and feeling empathy for a friend is one thing, but agreeing with them that they're a victim and kind of like spending unnecessary energy, endless energy sometimes, trying to help them solve problems really isn't going to do them any good. Because what they actually need, and what I've been recommending to some of these people is, like someone said, this person like calls me when they've had a few drinks and whatnot, and they really start going off on me. And I said, well, just practice a boundary. Say, when you call me I love you, but when you call me when you're drunk, I'm not going to listen, and you just hang up. You don't owe anybody an explanation. If somebody's coming at you like that, then just when you give somebody like that silence and you don't put up with the vomiting, and you're just like, you're vomiting on me right now, and I don't want to take that into my own field. I don't want that negativity on me. And so click. When you do that, they're left to hear the echo of what they just said to you, what they were just complaining about to you, and they can start becoming more self-aware. So you're enabling them by continuing to ping pong back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. This is what I think about what you're doing. And then they'll go, but here's why I can't do that. And then here's why I'm still a victim. And then you'll be like, well, if you wouldn't be a victim if you were to just go take this action. And then they're like, but I still am a victim because there's this other thing that you don't even know about because you haven't even heard the conversations behind the scene. Then they'll start sending you text messages about all the stuff that proves that they're a victim. It seriously is an endless loop. So have some good boundaries with people like that. Also, one of the things in our society is like, if there's some kind of an injustice or something bad that happens, or like, let's say your spouse dies, God forbid, like a widow, like you're a widow or a widower. Our society teaches that if in order to be a good person, a good, empathetic, kind, loving person to your partner who's died or whoever's passed, you have to mourn properly. and you have to go through years of suffering, and you cannot laugh, and you cannot tickle, and you cannot run and have fun, and you cannot smile anymore. And everyone has to feel sorry for you and be all solemn around you. That's just a cultural thing. It's not really truly to honor somebody's death, or to honor, something like that, is to actually take it, grab it, and like let that be your fuel and your fire to go do great, wonderful things. It's to get back on your feet, to get back out there dating someone new that you're excited about, that you feel passionate about, to get passionate about a project, to get passionate about a trip that you want to take, something that you really dreamt of doing, and now you're going to break free and be happy and do some incredible, wonderful things in your life. So you don't need to worry about other people judging you if you don't judge yourself. That was the other thing that came up today too a lot. Is like feeling like if I've got to behave this certain way, or I'm going to get judged for it. But if you don't judge yourself, then you don't have to worry about it. There's always going to be somebody lined up to judge you, no matter who you are or what you do. The more public, the more judgment. But if you have your own back and you are good to yourself and you love yourself and you know that you're making the best decisions for you based on your own truth and what feels good to you, then that you got your back. There's always going to be some people who support you and love the hell out of you, and there's always going to be people who can't stand you and can't stand what you're doing. That's just always going to be. There's no possible way to get everybody to love you. And they could even pretend. They could even pretend to love you, and they really don't. So it's all for naught. The most important thing is for you to love yourself and to stand firm in your own decisions and what you truly want to do. And to protect your own energy from those energy vampires who act like victims, who want you to be like, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, that person really treated you so bad. I'm so sorry. It's not going to help. But what is going to help? What is going to help is you being very present in the moment with compassion in your energy. That's it. Just sitting beside somebody, maybe even holding their hand, letting them cry on your shoulder and lean on you. It's not words that you say. It's not telling them what to do. It's not coming up with solutions. Running your fingers through their hair and looking at them lovingly, just smiling, just spending time with them, connecting with them, and just showing that you care physically, just being in their space, or just showing concern. And if they complain, I remember years ago when I became enlightened, my best friend was used to coming in my office back when I was in the corporate world. She'd come in my office and shut the door, and she'd plop down on my couch, and she'd just be like, oh my gosh, Betty did this to me today. She was just awful. She was terrible. I'm such a victim. And I'd be like, oh, you poor thing. I would empathize with her. And I would just, feel bad for her. And I would tell her, well, why don't you go do this? Or why don't you complain to this person? Or why don't you, you have rights, and why don't you such and such? And I'd give her all this, oh, but it's just so hard, and I would just, this would go on for however long it went on. And then she'd move on with her day. And then another upset would come along. A lot of things in our society are based on one upset after the other, right? Right when you think you've got one fire you put out, here comes another one. This is because people are living by their egos. They're just not self-aware enough to reflect on themselves and seeing that they are the creator of their own lives, and they are the ones victimizing themselves. They don't even realize, right? So when I started to actually go through enlightenment, for those 6 months I've told you guys before about, when I started going through that, I myself felt like I was just a compassion walking. I felt like God had taken over my body, and I was on autopilot. And the only thing I could feel was love and compassion. The only thing that would come through my mouth was love and compassion that was inspired by God's source itself. So it felt like, honestly, it felt like I was in an altered state. Like I just felt like I was Jesus or Gandhi, or all of a sudden I understood why those people were how they were. And then this was our true authentic nature. It's what we were actually designed to be and to do, is live by instinct, not thought. Anyway, so I saw our potential as human beings. So I started to not empathize so much. I mean, I had empathy and I had compassion, but that compassion was coming out in just my presence, my nature, being with her, not feeling sorry for her, but just being support for her. That energy of being super present in the moment, there's an energy that goes out and permeates your environment and changes things. It like manifests things instantly. It offers this incredible universal support that's like undescribable. But her being in my presence at that moment was the best possible thing I could have ever done for her. And she didn't even know or realize, because our society has programmed us to say that, you have to listen to my problems and feel sorry for me. That's how you show love. And it's just not true. It's not true at all. So I just want to say that for those of you who might be going through these energies too, because I mean, when I get reading after another, and they all kind of have a theme like this, then I know it's something in the energies. It's something in the planets or something out there that's causing y'all to go through it, and a lot having to do with siblings and things like that. So you guys might be going through this yourselves. So on one side, if you're doing all the complaining, learn to be more introspective. Instead of having to complain to people about things, catch yourself and do like a self-inquiry process like Byron Katie's work, or you can do start making a list of, thank you, God, for my miserable thing. Write the miserable thing down. Thank you, God, that, that my teenager won't talk to me. And then you write down the 10 to 15 reasons, advantages or benefits as to why that's a really good thing that's happening. It helps you think more clearly. It helps you be in a state of acceptance. It helps you to realize why your higher self is taking you through that situation. What is the lesson in this that I'm supposed to learn? How is this a good thing that's actually supporting me in my life right now, no matter how bad it looks or appears to be, right? And when you learn to do this, you start to empower yourself too, and then you don't need other people. You don't need them to reassure you or tell you, whatever, they never do anyway, do they? No matter what they say, you just argue with them. So it's not really doing you any good, except you're just spewing on somebody, and then they're just feeling uncomfortable about you, And if you're the one who has somebody complaining to you, best thing you can do is offer silence. Is to just be a loving presence, just be really present in the moment, exude that, just be aware of your own aliveness in your body. Study that subject if you want to. Michael Singer's book, he has a surrender experiment, and he's got the Untethered Soul that are really good. And the Eckhart Tolle's book, A New Earth. There's a lot of different books. Mooji talks about it. Gangaji. It's so many different people can help you to do that. But when you're really centered in the moment and you're there with someone, just offering that love from this radiant energy of who you truly are, your authentic nature, that's what's transformative. And I had to tell my best friend back then, when I was going through my awakening, I said, I know that you don't understand this. I know that you don't, because she was really getting really angry because she really thought that I should be feeling sorry for her. I said, I'm really sorry, but I just can't do that. That's not where I'm coming from right now. It would be inauthentic for me to say, I'm so sorry that that's happening to you, blah, 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 like I used to. Or to rally with her against these other people or tell her what to do about it or whatever. I said, right now, I'm offering you so much more love and compassion than I ever did back then when I was kind of pretending and saying the right things to you to make you feel better, I said, I'm offering you so much more love and compassion right now. I want you to feel that. Just be quiet with me for a moment and just feel my love permeate through you right now. That's what I'm offering to you now. That's my authenticness right now, my authenticity that I'm offering up right now as your best friend still. It's just not the words that you're used to hearing, but there's so much more power and so much more love behind what I'm offering you now, you know? So, and if somebody's just spewing on you, just don't feel like you got to listen to it. Certainly don't react to it, and just hang up. Practice your boundary. I'm sorry, but when you talk to me like this, I'm not going to listen to it. I love you, but you're gonna have to talk to me some other time when you've calmed down. Click. Whatever you have to do, just be, the fewer the words, the better, so that they're not ruminating over those words and making it all about you and turning it on you. If you can just make it really basic and simple and all about, I love you, but I can't do this. Click. Then the more they're going to be like thinking about what they just said to you. And they can't make it about you because there's nothing to ruminate over. You've given them nothing to, nothing to spin around. You know what I mean? Anyway, I hope this helps you guys. Trying to make it real simple and short, and I hope this makes sense to you. If you have any further questions about that, we could either talk about it in a session, or you can comment below, or even share your own insights as to how you've come to these same epiphanies, that something that you might share that might help other people understand it from your angle as well, because we all see things a little differently. So, all right. You guys have a beautiful day, and I guess we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Hey, if you like my videos, please share, subscribe, and set your bell notifications on so you'll know the moment they come out. Also, don't forget that you can go to my website and order a personal reading at amysatori.com/services. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful day.